So, quickly before we jump into this too hard, 2 kills away from 2,000 all-time in the LEC. I saw you fountain chasing a little bit at the end of that play. You know, trying to kill Ismo on the fountain. Did you know, or was it just I like killing people, I'm an AD carry?
G2
yeah, more of that, I think.
versus
KC.
Sounds
like a great number. Hopefully we can get it tomorrow. Or I can get it tomorrow.
Yeah, against Vitality, it should be a good game. Yeah. Forward to that one. Let's get into the draft then. Barrett's banned away. Can you believe he was buffed?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Freak must be a Riot main, Varus main for sure. Like he was already really pick or ban every game in competitive, and then they even buffed him like quite a lot. Like it wasn't a small buff even, so
made him a little better.
Good patching it.
Yeah, like I mean, he did use when Maokai support was really broken. He played a bunch of Maokai support, so maybe, as you say, he's just.
Fighting should be better.
Banned away as well by G2. We have the Jace and the Pantheon getting taken away by KC. Apart from Yonara and Aphelios, do you think
watched the lost game
maybe overlooked a little
earlier
bit
today?
When you to leak your secret super scrim picks,
was
do you think there are any AD carries that kind of
quite fire.
Just below that mark that you'd be looking at?
Yeah, I mean, Corki has shown up quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Quite happy.
He's definitely pretty strong right now. And then Kaiser into Corki was played as well quite a bit. I think he's decent. And then you see the occasional Estriel or Sivir. But yeah, I think if you're picking AD carry 1 to 3, usually you will see like one of Yonara, Varus, Corki, this kind of meta right now.
That makes a lot of sense. Orianna and Jarvan, the final 2 bans.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the 2 AD carries you can trade there, I think you're just happy to go with the Rumble here. He's been so incredibly strong on the top side. And we've seen a lot of teams like trying to pair with the Jarvan. It's obviously taken away here, but regardless, the pick is just so strong, and it has been for so long.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a top lane champ... Oh, they switched to Yonara last time. Yonara also very powerful, of course.
Jarvan's quite nice.
Just champ on blue side.
Can't lie about that.
Laner, and he will probably have push. He will probably have a good matchup. And when the answer is like a tank and survive lane into your champ, it's probably like very powerful in draft, right? That's why we're seeing a lot of Rumble first pick. And it's a little bit similar to Yonara. Like the matchups on bot depend more on the support, I would say. When you play Yonara Aphelios, Yonara Corki, but Yonara overall is just a blind pick you can pick. You will have push if the support matchup is not too skewed. And she's really good in team fights, she's good in scaling, she's good in early objective fights. It's just the full package, right?
I'm still trying to pitch my AP Yonara build because her passive makes her crits scale with AP, right?
Okay,
so Dusk and Dawn Yonara.
Okay.
On hit, you know, you press your Q.
I don't have a pen right now.
You press our Q.
We can get you a pen and paper, you know?
No, I'm good. It's
okay.
I can't wait to check your match history and see if it actually
It works in ARAM Mayhem, therefore it must be good.
So Rumble ult in my match history, all red, only AP Yonara.
Well, there's the Corki pick into the Yonara, no real surprises there.
Yeah.
Rumble's still available, but G2 do like to look towards their jungle. Xin Zhao will be the pick. So you already have, you know, some good Corki can put some threat onto the Yonara in lane if you have a good support matchup.
Yes, you can.
Didn't he like just die?
If the matchup is something like
lore-wise
against the melee champion, you will have some pressure. Same
hypothetically.
So it will really depend a lot on the support matchup. I think.
I feel like the answer is yes.
In a vacuum, the Yonara has slight
I don't know
push,
though.
but Corki has his timings where he gets really strong just because the champ has really strong numbers. That's the main reason you pick him. So we'll have to see what happens in the support department. Usually red side, of course, will get the counter pick, but let's see how it plays out.
Well, red side is blue side in this game.
That's very confusing.
Yeah.
One of the sides will have counter pick.
Yeah, so G2 will have that R5 is what we used to call it, last pick of the draft.
Yeah, this is what I was curious though, is how much priority do you give to Ryze in this sort of situation? Because we know that Caps is more than happy to take something like the Anivia into it, and you've already got the setup with the Xin Zhao to try and follow up on it. So looks like maybe we have an opportunity here for G2 to bring out the bird once again.
I mean, Anivia definitely has great scaling in this meta, especially against Ryze. He's a short-range champ, but Ryze is similar class of champion as
Cap's gonna clap.
You can pick it, the enemy can pick a champ that has value, but you still will have push. You still will get to do your things on side lane. You still will have a really nice ulti for team fights to flank and just be really mobile on the map. So,
is there a risk for Yonara if she's dashing in fights, having an Anivia there who can put a wall behind you immediately? Are you just a little bit more cautious about how you're stepping forward, or can you kind of?
I just one-trick Jarvan.
I mean, usually the fights are more front to back.
What would I do
in
this case?
Anivia's very rarely
I dodge. It's that easy.
So,
Jarvan ban
it's not that
equals
bad
dodge.
for Yonara, but Anivia has great zone
Easy
control, especially
clap.
if you're immobile, but Yonara definitely has a little bit more playroom against her than other champs, I would say.
That makes sense. We see the Galio coming out. Expect that to be in the top side. BB, a long time pick into the Rumble is this Galio.
I just don't agree.
Good pressure. If you have the grasp as well, you can sustain through the lane pretty effectively. Wukong banned away by G2. There's the Anivia ban. Good prediction on that, Dagda. KC have done their research, although It's not too hard research to do. It's only 4 games so far this split, so they will get rid of the inhibitor themselves. And now we'll see where G2 want to go with their final ban of the draft. They're denying some of that zone control, the Cyclone. They've got
I know y'all
the Varus as well.
probably already watched this,
give you area
but
controlling fight.
I'm just curious.
Who you guys think is gonna win? KC or G2?
Rumble Vi combo and also kind of the setup with the Rise, but actually not the case, so.
They leave it open.
Yeah.
I mean, Galio also has some nice counterplay into Vi. Vi Rise is not the best combo, let's say. Vi Rumble, on the other hand, is very good, so I think Vi is not bad champion, but I think G2 just has to read on KC that they think Yikes Vi is maybe not one of his best champs necessarily, so let's see if they will prove them wrong, I guess.
You've been on the caster desk for all of 5 minutes and you've already got all the narratives down. Upset.
Yeah.
This was a huge thing at the start of last year. Nami, the final ban, so you talked about that pressure that a Nami Corki can have in the lane with the Tycaller's Blessing, with the ebb and flow for the sustain. G2 now looking towards their jungler, leaving support for the counter matchup as that last pick. And it looks like, is that actually going to be a Lee Sin? A Lee Sin! Locked for Skewmon.
No,
but the Zin's out.
The Lee Sin is
Lee
top
Sin
lane.
Top?
Yes.
Not mid?
No.
So it's Galio mid, Lee Sin top?
Okay.
So
okay, sure.
I have been seeing some Lee Sin.
Lee Sin top.
Oh,
you're good, yeah.
Okay,
I'm not sorry. I was talking to production.
I have been seeing some Lee Sin in some games. Top lane, it seems quite strong now. Important now getting your quest fast, getting all your bonus XP. So I think in this current meta, it could be a quite interesting pick into the Rumble.
Yeah. I've been seeing a little bit of Profane Hydra, Sundered Sky, Death's Dance, Lee Sin jungle as well.
Brox's build.
It is Brox's build, originally coming from Korean solo queue, so maybe following a similar, as you say, with the Ravenous Hydra, just gives you that extra damage. Aatrox is the final pick in the jungle for KC most likely. Rumble can be flexed to jungle, but very, very rarely these days are you going to take the Rumble into the jungle when you can put it top. G2 looking for counter pick into this Alistar Yunara.
There's going to be probably a Rakan, a Bard, or a Nico now, I would guess. Rakan obviously gives you more engage. It's already nice with the Zinz or Galio. It has a decent matchup into Alistar, but it's not really that
easy clap
or anything. Otherwise, Bard could have also been an option, but they want more engage. They want more go buttons, and the matchup is fine. Rakan also right now has a great win rate too, I think. It's just a really strong champ if he's not punched in lane. I mean, you're somewhat of a Rakan connoisseur.
I used to be a Rakan main, now a Braum main.
Okay.
Because Braum is just really easy to play. You put up Unbreakable and chuck a Winter's Bite out, you kind of done your job in a fight. But as you say, Rakan relatively weak in lane. Like Gleaming Quill, you're just sustaining up. You can get some engages off, but you're not there to dominate the lane. I did just get notified last time we see Lee top was a couple of years ago from Genax, who brought it out in 2024.
Yeah, and it used to be with the Emax as well, because you get so much push in the lane, you can also slow and then follow up very easily when it comes towards like trading effectively. So I think against Rumble, that could actually work out relatively well here, but I am curious if it is still going to be that same tech, or if you're happy just going up towards that Tiamat early, which means you don't really need that E push as much.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, no,
I'm excited.
Being a
I don't know why I'm here.
Well, we will look at the top lane a little bit. Obviously, bot lane, mostly our focus in this early game. Hans Sama Labrov versus Kalist Busio. Like, Kalist Busio, the promised bot lane for KC. Coming in, Kalist was this AD carry who was a prodigy.
Oh shit,
originally, then
they're in game.
To be promoted to the KC main roster. Busio, widely regarded as the best support in the West last year. Now coming into KC, hasn't made as much impact yet as you'd like, but when you're looking at a new support as an AD carry, there is kind of a grace period you need to really learn how your AD carry wants to play, learn exactly how
Galio
you
with the quick
play in
poke.
each individual matchup upset.
I mean, 100%, you always need some time to get on the same page. That's when you play bot lane, that's all what it's about. You just need to understand what the other person wants to do without really having to talk much about it. So you move in the same way. You can see Rakan. Oh, this is the screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, you can look at this one. This one's fine.
Okay.
This is the same as what's up there. So.
I mean, they're showing mid lane right now. Okay, we're back to bot lane. Level 1, Rakan has the Q, and Alistar level 1 is quite weak. It's really hard for him to do something unless he gets a Q flash angle, but it looks like he's at a W, so Rakan will be able to walk up a lot and just get Qs on him because the hitbox is quite big, and you can see if Rakan hits all his Qs, he will have a lot of sustain, but Rakan overstepped a little bit. He's
as you
knocked
say,
into the
Labrov
arco.
very much overstepped. Has to burn the flash and the heal to get out of that. Two summoners for 2.
Crazy.
No flash is burnt on the KC side, but a ghost and a heal.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. Definitely should have had sweeper. Probably they also warded the first bush there, which is quite weird. But the main problem was that Kalist had his lethal tempo stacked up, and they just didn't respect it, and Rakan walked way past the enemy minion line and got punished for it. Really nice by the KC bot lane.
Yeah, I think Hans's Phosphorus bomb might have been on CD as he walked up as well, so he didn't even have the threat of a bit of damage coming back. Busio going in with the headbutt.
Is he gonna die?
Kalist.
Oh, another space.
No way,
just
right?
Getting raw comboed by the Alistar. It's not going well right now.
So if you are G2 in this sort of situation, how are you trying to now fix this sort of position? Like, obviously the wave is now pushing into you, you're a little bit behind. Are there certain things that you're looking out for?
I mean, this matchup is a little bit more forgiving. I think there's not much pressure on them right now.
Fucking
the bigger
cats.
question is how it will look on the bounce. They will be able to farm this wave just fine, and then it's mostly going to depend what the junglers are going to do to interact with the lane. At level 3, it could get a little bit tricky now that they're chunked, but we have to see how the trades play out now. Right now, you can see it's quite stable, right?
Yeah, well, Lebov's also going to be quite late to that level 3. You can see Kalist and Busio, those little pink bars almost there themselves, whereas Lebov's only just ticked over to 2. Skew was pathing towards the top side the last time we saw the minimap, and Yike was pathing down towards the bottom side. So there is a risk of a 3v2. Diving a Rakan can be a little bit tricky, but if you play it well, perhaps the dive is on.
Yeah, they could definitely go for a 1-for-1 dive trade here. If they have info about the Zins out. It's a play you can make, but you can also just play for tempo. Aatrox wants to be on time for a second clear. I think he started on Raptors. So let's see what decision they make, but it looks like they're just fast pushing this wave. They're not going for a dive, but that's always an option if jungles are mismatched and you have a melee support and you have push. You can usually trade the kill, like you can kill the enemy AD carry for your support, but they don't choose to do it. They instead get wards and just play for a tempo.
It looks like Yike actually might be looking for a Razorbeak steal on the reset here. They did have a ward on them when they were first taken, but with his bot lane backing away, he's just going to get a bit of vision instead and back away himself. We'll have a brief glimpse up towards the top side if it's okay, Upset.
All right.
It's been a while since we've seen Lee Sin top. Broken Blade playing it for the first time in his career, as far as I can see. It is Emax for that Tempest Cripple. The slow on that doing a lot of work.
Also, just a nice ward from Broken Blade. It's just over towards the Krug camp, spotting out the Aatrox. Just gets pinged there. So, kind of understanding he needs to keep himself safe, especially as a lot of this lane is about pushing and then going for these very quick trades, as you can see there, using the Sonic Wave. So, Broken Blade looking very confident on this pick and kind of just not getting as much of that pressure as you'd expect traditionally from a Rumble when it is taking on that top side.
Also, both people are playing Ignite, but there's definitely some Bruce Lee stuff going on, I think, right now. He's already up nearly a wave. It looks pretty solid, I think. Yeah,
pushing out well. I misspoke slightly. We have seen Broken Blade on this pick a couple of times in the past, back in 2021.
Oh, really?
5 years ago when he was on Schalke. Weren't you? Were you on that roster?
No.
No.
I wasn't Fnatic at the time.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bad reference for me then, you know? You see a fight down towards the bottom side. Hansola getting chunked out, has to flash away as Busio had that trample lined up.
Yeah, so the main thing with Alistar Rakan is if the lane is going well, Rakan can always be in Alistar's face and always chunk him with auto attacks, hit some Qs and out-sustain him. But if the AD carry gets comboed when you're playing with Alistar and the matchup is somewhat even, you can lose the trade quite hard, and as you could see there, I'm not sure what happened with the Valkyrie before that, if it got cancelled. Usually he should not lose his flash, because if Alistar combos in, Rakan should be able to W him, so he can't get stunned and then you just W out, but I think the Valkyrie must have gotten cancelled, or he must have used it before.
Maybe used it aggressively. You were actually in the game the last time Broken Blade played this Lee Sin. He beat you. It was against Fnatic at that time. So Broken Blade going 1-3-13. Nuke went 11-1 and 8 on a Twisted Fate mid.
I think this might have been his only win in that split, maybe.
It was his only win on Lee Sin.
Grabbing the old Drake.
This was the summer split?
This?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
yes, summer
2021.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be in Schalke, right? I had to do a solid for them. It was a difficult split. So.
It makes sense. You tried to carry this game.
I mean, I did try
5-1-1.
Yeah,
on the Twist,
it looks a bit sassy what's happening in the top side on the scoreboard there, but it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. Just Niski, inting you a little bit apparently in that 0-5-4 on the Akali. Anyway, first Drake of the game going over to KC. They use the fact their bot is winning and the pressure they have to go for that Drake. It's a Cull first from Kalist here. If you're winning the lane like this, would Cull always be your standard purchase?
I mean, Cull in general is very great on Yunara because of the way the on-hit works with your Q. Every Cull gives you like 2 HP or something per AA, and when you press Q, it procs it on the whole wave, so you heal a lot. But you would have liked to seen maybe a little bit more thought about the wave. Like they tried to go for the Raptor and wait level 4 instead of holding the bot wave, and then they didn't end up going for it, so Alistar just moved for no reason, and Aatrox also used time. Instead, they should have probably held the wave and made it a bounce, because Corki couldn't have crashed. And same thing here, they just are giving them a base, and the wave was actually pushing towards them, and there wasn't really an objective up to play for, so if Alistar gets the freeze here, it's still a pretty nice situation. They will lose a whole wave. Let's see if he can do it, because that will really snowball the lane a lot. If he can W the minion out of the, or he should W the minion out of the tower range.
Punt the cannon minion out of tower range, so it's not tanking those tower shots.
I think Kalista might have just dragged it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, Alistar can always do it, right? Alistar can headbutt it. But regardless, they will lose a full wave here, and Yunara will get 6 first. And she will have her red potion. Right now, you're always playing cashback and triple tonic, right? So this bot wave situation could be a place to fight on, definitely, if they choose so.
It's such a typical AD carry mentality. Like Riot says, okay, we're going to give you quests, they give you more gold. And AD carriers say, okay, what can I do? I can get more gold out of my more gold. The fact I have a 7th item slot as well, cashback. Let's do it, and I can get free stuff alongside it. Excellent.
Songs, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what you want. So top lane currently going in favor of G2. Broken Blade getting the push into Kano, has to use the equalizer to clear out the wave. No Dragon Blade kick there from BB. Caps losing in the mid lane, kind of to be expected into the Rise, who can just use that spell flux and the overload to clear out waves. Bot lane going very much in Casey's favor. We don't want to keep you around for too long, Upset. I know you have a game tomorrow. Looking at the game state, looking at how bot lane's going, what are your predictions for the game? And I know it's really early and that's a bit unfair to ask you, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
I mean, you can see top and bot are kind of trading gold advantages right now. I like both drafts. I think Casey's draft is going to be a little bit better in teamfights, unless G2 gets a really good engage. So right now I would say it's a little bit more Casey favored, but obviously it's a 200 gold difference, right? So
who's going to win? Who's going to win?
I think Casey's going to win this one, probably.
Can we get that on a lower third? We're going to use that if G2 win. Thank you so much for joining us, Upset. Rob will, I didn't mean to shake your hand, but thank you. Rob will hold down your mute button as you take off your headset to make sure. Thank you, Upset. Great insight there from Upset as well. Thank you so much. Good luck tomorrow, mate. Yeah, really good insight from Upset. I love the mechanics of bot lane in solo queue. I'm just like, hey, I can hit a Q on this guy. Maybe that's okay. You know, it's fine. But really good to learn about it, like some of the intricacies going on down there. Let's have a look at the rest of the map that we haven't approached too much. We've talked a little bit about BB having this lead in the early game. It's the Tempest Cripple, the ability to get the push out onto the Rumble. He's kind of been neutralized in the early game. Jungle's relatively even. We did have the Dragon going over to KC with Grubs going over to G2. Meanwhile, Busio engaging down towards the bottom side. Hansama, there's the Valkyrie W combo that Upset was saying he wanted to see earlier on.
Yeah, it's a nice job there for G2 to be able to escape, but I did want to highlight the amount of vision control that G2 actually have placed in KC's jungle. You can see 2 control wards at both of the red and blue buffs that are just spotting out exactly where Yike is at all points in time. So they've been able to keep themselves relatively safe throughout this. And Yike has definitely been trying to put a little bit more pressure down towards that bottom side just to enable the lead that Kalista and Boosie already have. But in this situation, Broken Blade.
It goes in onto Kana, who goes overheated. Broken
Blade.
Turned to a crisp. He went for that fight, and Kana just stands his ground and gets the kill.
What happened to the safeguard, though? Like, he placed the ward to use the safeguard. And I didn't see, maybe he just shielded himself?
He may have W'd himself by accident. If you got it on Smartcast, pretty easy to do if your mouse cursor is over yourself. Lebrov looking to see if he can find an engagement to Kalista here, but is spotted on vision from that Tribush ward. Let's have another look at this. So he goes in, safeguards himself at the start.
Oh, he safeguarded before, so, I mean, now, with the auto attacks that you have, it should just be about to come, so he just safeguarded himself a second time, so.
Even then, I like safeguard Dragon's Rage to kick away, maybe would have bought him enough space to survive.
Oh, it was not the best choice.
Oh, it was an awful choice to go in. I mean, yeah,
because every auto attack you get with Lee Sin lowers the cooldown of your abilities. So obviously trying to trade very effectively, get a full rotation, and get back out. But
lost the fight.
Kana just having way more damage than he expected there.
And for every spell you cast as well, the next 2 autos give you some of that energy back. So you want to be weaving in those auto attacks, especially important through your jungle, to make sure you have those autos up as often as possible. It doesn't really apply too much to Broken Blade, that jungle tip. As now Yike gets vision with Busio down towards this bottom side. No sweeper available, means that Busio will be standing on a ward. Yike looking to start the second Drake of the game. But with Caps coming across and with that grand entrance, the heroic entrance from Caps a possibility. Busio here to collapse the 3v3. They jump onto Yahoo. Quickness out for the double charm. The torn out.
Okay.
Yahoo almost falling, but able to flash away. Kalist here first. But KC will just back
Push
away.
them out.
Their mid laner very low. Broken Blade had worked his way down from top. Would have been a 5v4. Kana, no TP yet, hasn't completed that role quest. G2 start up the Drake. Yahoo underneath the tower. Looking for the Rune Prison here onto Caps.
Kill him.
He's going to get taken out by the taunt. Caps beginning to walk away. The hero's entrance knocked back by Busio, who will claim the kill. The Drake for G2, though, still at 2,000 HP. Kalist trying to come in from the bottom side, looking for the Transcend oneself. Kana's worked his way down. Meanwhile, Broken Blade's back up towards the top. It's got a 4v3 in favor of KC. Kalist flashing away from Skewmon. LeBron trying to dance around him as well. But a good trample.
You lose this?
Yikes, damage is enough to kill the enemy jungler. And
Damn.
and Hans Sama have to walk away, tails tucked between their legs.
Caps kind of end up costing the Dragon there for G2. Sure, he gets the kill, and it will give an advantage in the lane because the wave died, and also that kill went to Busio. So he gets the kill here, but it does mean that then because you've got Broken Blade, he's gone back towards the top side, and Caps is effectively now out. It means that KC are able to re-enter because Kana had that push on top, has now walked down, and good identification from KC to say, hang on a second, G2 are overplaying their hands here. And Kalist plays this very well. Flashing away for Skewmon, hopping over the wall, Busio there to support him. And Skewmon doesn't have the Crescent Guard available because it was used earlier in that skirmish.
While we were watching that, Broken Blade was able to take the first tower of the game in the top side because of the move down from Kana, but KC still have about 1,000 gold lead and the second Drake to their names. It's a Cloud Soul on the Rift now.
It's also about to get bigger because one left on the Cull. He's going to end up popping it just in a second. There you go. So a 1.2k gold lead for Kalist now in that bottom side of the map. This Yunar is very strong and has set up to make sure that she can carry these fights.
Yeah, now going to go back and build up towards that next item. Has got a cloth armor. I wonder if it's a steel cap sort of game for Kalist here on the Yunara. Essence Reaver for Hans Summer. Did he... Oh, played his steel caps. There we are. They went into... I'm sorry, I'm not used to seeing a cloth armor disappear because the guy bought boots, you know? But Kalist gets those plated steel caps. They go into his extra slot. G2 use the fact the enemy AD carry. And getting back out onto the map to take the blue buff away. Yeah, who has fallen behind a very minuscule amount in terms of gold. 2 caps, there's about 100 gold difference. Kalist has actually lost some of that gold lead he did have as Hans Summer's got back in within about 800 gold himself. Hans Summer does need to be a little bit careful with Busio on his way across, but good vision control from both teams, meaning that ganks are pretty difficult right now.
You do. It's more I'm looking to see what Broken Blade can do because he has that push in topside, and there's a lot of movement you can now do with the Lee Sin, especially like coming over a wall.
Rise is cut off.
Taking Kalist, who doesn't have that flash available. So I think if I'm G2, that's where I'm looking, and Kana wants to force the play.
Equalizer down, Flame Spitter as well, burning through Broken
They're coming
Blade,
all down.
Tries to
It's a
heal
4v4.
off the wave with
Corgi's still mid.
Ignite out, Dragon's Rage, kick back on Kana, ultimate for ultimate exchange. And the sub from Kana in the form of that Ignite does mean there's no Dragon's Rage kick to catch out Kalist around a fight, but no real fight brewing either. The only neutral up in the next minute or so is that Rift Herald coming up in 10 seconds time. Taunt from Caps does find his man. LeBron could go in, but they know KC's in the vicinity, and because of that they decide discretion, the better part of Valor, not actually going for the fight. Skewmon looking for something here as well. Yahoo, no flash on him. Lebrov goes in. Busio trying to act as that bodyguard. Good double taunt into the charm. The dash away as well from Lebrov. And now Skewmon needs to get the hell out of there. Crescent Guard out. Tries to dash away from the Infernal Chains, but he's ripped back.
Fucking goddamn. That teleport from Corgi.
It was a weird commit from G2. Broken Blade didn't reset on the top side. Instead went to try and heal up off the Grom and didn't actually really heal up very full. So wasn't able to commit to the TP play. And Kana, kind of reading that, immediately teleports to the bottom side, and it's KC who are able to find the numbers advantage on that bottom lane. And even with the long lane, Broken Blade isn't going to get a huge amount back on that top side. You can look at the minimap. Broken Blade is finishing off the Krogs. So as G2 commit to this, it's Kana TP's in behind. You first push from mid, but Kalist...
Oh, Hans stepping to Kalist here, and Busio's here to help his ally. Lebrov doing the same from the bottom side, and without vision, you see no real play materializing. BB's going to TP down towards bot. Look for Kana. Good use of the Phaelites there from Kana with that control. Well, Dragon's Rage kick from Broken Blade, but he's used the safeguard now. Has to try and dodge his way away. Caught out BB trying to do some magical stuff on this Lee Sin, but it's just not
Sin's
working.
almost done.
Between Yike and Kana, he'll be burnt alive by that Rumble, who secures his second of the game.
This Lee Sin is not working out as I think Broken Blade was hoping for. Kind of getting the better of him. The TP play, take two.
Yeah,
Electric Boogaloo.
Now up towards top. Phase Rush and Ghost available for Yahoo. Flash forward for the 3 talent. There's a flash away from the taunt. The knockup with the Justice Punch not gonna land. And now Yahoo
Can he die?
realm warp his way to safety.
No.
G2
Warp.
pulling the trigger on multiple plays around the map, but they're firing blanks.
I was gonna say they're just firing it everywhere except the target at this stage. Sure, you will get the push now on that top side though. Maybe you want to move that into Rift Tower, but Hans Sama is getting honestly kind of stalled on by Kalist in this mid lane.
Yeah, he is. Kalist building up towards that next item, has the Zeal. The Scout Slingshot. Hans Sama on his way to an Infinity Edge, but still needs the pickaxe and the combination gold to pay to Boris to upgrade towards that next power spike. Next Drake up in 8. G2 realize they got to play around this. It would be soul point for KC, and a Cloud Soul would be so powerful on this KC lineup.
Yeah, I think Kalist would like to try and reset. I imagine he's very close to that Ruin's Hurricane.
That tower just went
May not just
boom.
have the chances. The Dragon already started up by G2. Looks like KC gonna give.
Yeah, it's an interesting trade here. Rift Herald for the Drake. Yeah, who getting some time with that top tier 1 as well. Should be able to take it down. From what I can see on the minimap, it's sitting at only 1 plate. Yeah, he's just waiting for it to kill off some of those minions. So will be a tower and a Rift Herald exchanged for a Dragon, but KC opting out of putting themselves on soul point. Could have just been a timing thing, as you say. Maybe had a little bit too much gold in their inventories, hadn't quite got the resets off that they would have wanted, but for the moment, still in control of this game. 3K ahead, 18 minutes in. G2 limping more than running through this matchup. And Carmine Corp really doing a good job of neutering any threat that could come out of G2.
The only salvation for G2.
They are stopping everything.
They do have a Lee Sin, and if he can get a good kick onto Kalist, that can be game-changing, especially when the rest of the gold for KC is situated onto Yike, who can struggle a little bit when you're playing into things like a Rakan, a Galio, and things that can buy a lot of space for the backline. But Broken Blade, I'm going to be honest, hasn't fully impressed me on this Lee Sin thus far, so we'll have to see if the old man hands are working for an insect play.
And he did get the lane priority that we don't often see people get into Rumble, but as you say, the mechanics after that point haven't really shown us the style that is required to master the King of Kung Fu in Lee Sin. I did once watch a 60-minute long game where Meteos was on Lee Sin, and by the end of it, he worked out how to insect.
Yeah. So we have to go to an hour.
G2 might try and delay, man. They have some tools. They don't have the best wave clear, though. Corki can do it, but Galio really just chucking out those winds of war and trying to chip away at the waves. KC setting up around this bottom side. No neutral to be fought over.
Yeah, also Kana started to get pulled down, spotted on wards that are in that top side jungle for KC, so I think G2 not wanting to overextend and kind of just keeping Kana interested at the moment.
Both dodging away here. Infernal Chains will pull Caps back. He's pretty tanky on this Galio. Gets the taunt. Unbreakable will out from Busio. Zeke's Convergence will proc. And in the end, KC can't find
setting up for
the play. Broken Blade
fight
on level 14. Going to take the tower, trying to heal up with that Ravenous Hydra Dragon. Going to kick it out as Carmine Corp begin to collapse. Busio no ultimate, but does have the flash, can look for the engage. Safeguard away from Broken Blade. G2 beginning to collapse here. Yike goes in, there's the equalizer. Heroes entrance out as well as Broken Blade dives in. A good charm coming out.
Busio?
Is a 1-for-1 so far, now 2-for-1 in favor of Carmine Corp.
They die. Rise?
Of the meat grinder, and they
Rise dies. 100%.
To a crisp, they will get one more. But 4 for 2 is well in the Blue Wall's favor.
If you're going to try and take on this Aatrox, you have to bring some damage. And G2 just don't have it. Hans Sama was still in the mid lane. Broken Blade is taken down immediately. And KC opening up this gold lead nicely for themselves.
They just don't have the damage to work through the Aatrox, as you say. Yike 2-0-5 against his former team. 2 towers on the bot side. As KC now a 4.5k gold lead. We'll have another look because it's Broken Blade pushing for the tower. He does get it, and then the collapse comes in from KC.
Yeah, Busio engaged on the Broken Blade. Broken Blade ends up following the Sonic Wave right the way into the back line, and we called it out. Good charm from LeBron, but now it's on to Skumon to try and be the damage dealer. He's getting knocked around, cannot get through any of the health bars that are here, and Caps ends up picking up. Doesn't even, sorry, pick.
He does,
there,
yeah.
at the end for Yahoo. What time? We passed it.
Everyone take a breath.
What the hell was that?
Forget it, we move on, okay?
What the fuck?
The secret lab ad came to life for a second. So, KC in a good spot. 4,000 gold ahead. Yahoo
Thinks it's a great spot.
living up to his name. Baron is on the rift. There's a Drake up in a minute's time. It wouldn't be Soul, but it would be KC's third. You need to mute for a second, Rob? Yeah, okay, I'll cover this one for now, okay?
It was the producer in my ear that got me.
I did not hear them, and I'm very thankful I did. One of us needed to maintain control. So, we've got 38 seconds on the Dragon. It's a Cloud, won't be Soul. Yahoo now with his 2 stacked items fully stacked up. Seraphs and the Rod of Ages. Kana also a really strong spot. Oblivion. As we see the charm going in, but is LeBrob caught out here as Entrance looking for the knockups here onto Yike. Will get one.
Oh shit.
Will Skumon trying to get the damage down as well. And someone needs to do a lot of work in this fight. Bucio's low, they'll wait for the Unbreakable Will to fall off, and then they'll look to put the damage into him. Good slow. Realm Warp out, knock up from LeBrob. Bucio still gets out, because Yahoo was not CC'd. And the Alistair was able to take a Realm Warp out to safety. Yahoo doing a lot of work here. Skewen diving in with the Crescent Guard and knock-up. Flashed away. Hansama Valkyrie.
Sama
pops the World Ender. And it's able to dash across the wall with the Umbral. Dash there. In the end, KC escaped not unscathed, but all still alive.
They're barely still alive, but Flash on Yahoo burnt. There is just so much pressure coming through from G2 there. And also the damage from the Phosphorus Bomb. A lot coming out from Hansama to start that one off. And it means that G2 continue to keep this Soul point at bay from KC.
They'll get another Cloud. Good fight from them, even if they didn't pick up the casualties or the kills. They were still able to add the notch of a Cloud Drake onto their belts. LeBrov here, cleanse and heal, will cleanse the Rune Prison out. That's the power of the Unsealed Spellbook. Caps trying to hold the wave in mid. Broken Blade pushing in towards the bottom side. Matched by Kana. Caps, look at the damage coming out from Kalist! Caps just melts.
That Fiend
Just
Hunter
insta-died.
damage, doing so much work. Those quick 3 auto attacks making mincemeat, but Kalist might be in a bit of trouble here.
And he's able to dash away for now. Chase continues as Broken Blade looks for the flank. Kalist flashes as BB does the same. Looking for a flash kick, couldn't land it. Caps,
BB,
no real
Broken Blade
armor on this player yet. He's gone down the magic resist route to deal with Yahoo, and because of that, Kalist able to rip through him. Waves as well in KC's favor. Top pushed in, bot on its way. As Kana stops his recall to get that next wave crashing towards the tier 1 now. Realizes, well, we don't actually have control of this side of the map, so we'll restart that recall. A risk for KC as they are down 1 TP in this game. Caps has that teleport. Obviously, Realm Warp from Yahoo can try and match that to a degree.
But Caps has his own answer as well,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So you are basically playing with that Summoner Spell advantage.
So, KC still in the ascendancy. Almost 6k ahead. It's a 2.5k lead.
This is rough.
for Yike, and I'm pretty sure KC are pretty happy.
Is
There
G2
are no
full black?
refunds for this player transfer that happened.
I feel like oh, hang on, LeBron. He should be fine, but there's so much reliance on both AD carries on either side. Obviously, Hansama a little bit further behind, but he's the only real person that can deal consistent damage to take down Yike. If Hansama ends up out of the equation, it becomes very easy for KC to play off of the fact that their jungler is so large. But on the flip side, I mean, Kalist is monstrous this game as well.
She's melting through everyone.
Being able to free hit, I don't really feel like G2 have a chance either. So for G2, these fights need to go almost perfectly if you hope to try and take down KC here.
Look at the level lead as well for Yahoo in the mid lane. 16 to 14.5 for Caps. Rod of Ages helping that a ton. Actualizer now on that rise. You pop that. 8 seconds of increased mana cost, but increased damage. Alongside, actually, Rob, can you hover over the Actualizer for us? We see how much extra damage it's giving. 32.9% increased ability damage when he pops that. alongside healing and shielding, but it's the damage we really care about. If Yahoo is untouched in a fight, he is absolutely gonna shred. And that's the issue for G2. You say that about 3-4 of the players on KC. Yeah. Like, I'm worried if Rumble is untouched. I'm really worried if Aatrox is untouched, because G2 have a few experiences with an Aatrox against them when they're in the winning position. And the Ryze and the Yanama there just to top up the DPS meters. Labrov using the Ghost, just wants to get back to that flash from the unsealed spellbook, has to dash away. Broken Blade dodging away from Yike, who's trying to chase him down. DB does have the Dragon's Rage, doesn't want to use it, able to walk out. No Realm Warp behind him, no tower to stand. Sonic Wave misses, Dragon's Rage comes out, but it's too little too late.
Cut off guard.
He is burnt alive. Caps will push in the top side. G2 try and get control over mid, but Kana has a wave on its way towards this bot lane inhibitor tower, and with the crystalline overgrowth being ripped away, that will be an inhibitor turret to KC.
Yike even moving across just in case G2 try and go for some sort of barn play off the back, but there just isn't really an answer. In fact, Hansama needs to be kind of careful here.
And Bob with the knocker, well played by him. Gives Hansama the time to escape the clutches of the Aatrox. KC now gain control of the topside river, and around it the Baron. 50 seconds on the Drake. When you look at items, it's all KC favored. Almost 3 items on Kana. You've got the Oblivion Orb, you've got an Executioner's Calling as well to negate the healing that can come out of G2.
Yeah, I mean, this is starting to feel much more like KC are settling into the roster moves now. We got to see it yesterday where Busio was involved in all 7 kills in the first 14 minutes of the game yesterday, moving around, linking up with Yike. Kind of a similar story in this one as he goes in once more, but Yike behind him.
Just trying to chip away at Labrov, who does have that Celestial opposition. And Shield helping him be topped up. No real follow-up from the rest of KC. Busio testing the waters. Labrov doing the same with a Gleaming Quill. I know which side of those waters I want to be on. It's G2 try and gain control of the river, but with Yike standing in that bush, it's a scary conundrum to have to try and puzzle your way through.
I do like the idea from KC here, though. Wrap through mid, get the push, and guarantee you've got a front line towards Kalista, because you can see Broken Blade fishing for those Sonic Waves.
Busio going in as a skew mode, Crescent Guard coming out. Labrov is looking for a long flank all the way near the walls right now. Puts a control ward down. If KC overstep, there's the risk of a quickness onto the backline. It's Kalist. There's the quickness. Hero's entrance diving in as well. An equalizer down. They dive onto Kalist. Good double taunt, but Busio there to save his AD.
Kalist.
And he does exactly that with the help of Kana. KC now re-engaging. Great start onto Broken Blade with the trample as he tried to dive in. KC,
oh my god. It's gonna be an ace.
And they'll burn them in the river. Great play.
It's going to be an ace.
G2. Labrov, the last man standing, and all he can do is flee from Busio.
Every door that G2 opens has just got a blue wall in front of it. KC have denied them every opportunity this game. And now a Dragon, a Baron, and surely the game off the back of that.
It's going to be a 10k lead for KC. I like the idea from Labrov. Quickness out, dive onto Kalist, but there's just not the follow-up. Broken Blade getting knocked away by Busio is huge.
And then again here, as he tries to go through, you called it in the middle of the fight. Busio getting that trample to deny Broken Blade again. And because of that, you just don't have the damage in G2 to finish off Kalist. He gets the reposition, and KC, the front to back, works so well.
Gonna be honest, even if they kill Kalist, I think they still lose the fight. I think KC are just too strong. The Lee Sin experiment did not work here for Broken Blade. His 50% all-time win rate is gonna fall to 33.3 recurring, which I don't think he cares about too much, but you know, for those of us interested in stats, it's an interesting thing to think about. KC now with Baron for 2.5 minutes. There's one tier 2 remaining on the map for them. They're going to play through this top side to try and secure it. Cap's here. Going to try and defend as much as he can. The Winds of War going out isn't going to do too much damage to the wave. Yike denying entry for Labrov and Hansama towards their top side of their jungle. There's the tower. And now KC with about a little bit more than 4 waves, about 6 waves or so to play with the increase, the shortened spawn time. Camp's getting caught out. There's the quickness.
She's dead. Kalist.
Got out as well, but he's still got the flash to get away.
Yike.
TP coming out from Broken Blade, but already his jungler is down. And now KC
Dead.
can push through too. Kalist is going to reset. We'll be back out on the map quickly with the home guards. With how far forward these minion waves are pushed, he can sprint out, but instead he's just going to go towards the bot lane. Clear up that wave. Make sure G2 don't have any points of pressure on the map. KC will look for the double inhibs. With the Baron up minions, they should be able to secure them. Kana with a stopwatch. The engage from Broken Blade again. Boostio punks him to Timbuktu.
Dude, they
Yeets
can't
him
do
out of
shit
any possibility of a fight. And
at all.
KC, even without their Fed AD carry, are just pushing G2 back.
Boostio playing bouncer for Broken Blade, denying any access. And now a terrorist falling.
Crazy.
The base in shambles. It's just kind of a quick reset before you jaunt your way down mid lane and just try to force the game out.
This is so good from KC. Like, I think the first few days of the LEC, they haven't quite looked like the force they were last year. Or at least for a lot of last year. Now, this game really looks like that. And you can argue what you want. You can say BB on the Lee Sin hasn't had the effect they wanted it to. They haven't been able to impact the map, but every lane has lost. Like, it's not just BB that's been the problem. Caps was losing in the mid lane, kind of to be expected in the Rise into Galio matchup. The bot lane was getting beat. Like, Hans Summer and LeBron did not have a good time in that 2v2.
I mean, honestly, the perfect time to have upset to break it down, because he kind of went through the mistakes bit by bit with the G2 bot lane we're making. And now it's KC reaping the rewards. They're going to start to shift down towards this bottom side, the last remaining inhibitor on the map, and use the fact that you've got that Rise to start getting vision on this bottom side.
Yike, 3 levels above his jungle counterpart. Kind of happens when you have this much control over the game, because I wouldn't be surprised if Scumon's got like one of his last 6 camps or so. You just don't get to enter the jungle. But across the board leads for KC. Boostio stepping in, Lebrov looking for the knockoff onto Yike, can't land it. Dashes back to Broken Blade, who has to dash back to Scumon. Hans Summer has to dash back across the wall, and he just gets a delete.
Dies.
Gets another Realm Warps in, sends the cow onto the backline, joins him.
Insta-death.
Crescent Guard out from Scumon here, instead used by Caps. The Zhonya's from Yahoo buys enough time for the rest of KC to begin to collapse as Caps is forced low. He pops a stopwatch of his own, but I think the next thing going pop will be him. Exactly the case.
God damn.
G2 are sent back to the fountain. They can escape there, but what escape is it as they watch their Nexus fall? KC,
Like,
34 minutes in, have
fudge,
only
man.
given G2 3 kills. Well, 4 now as they die once to the fountain. A dominant victory for Carmine Corp.
crazy.
G2 just got dismantled.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy. All right, Strum. I just wanted to do that. So thank you guys for hanging out. And I'll see you guys next time.